Okay, if you understand this, and you understand everything I'm about to say in this video, then you will be able to manifest literally anything and any part of a lifestyle that you want. It could be you wanting to manifest a better personality. Maybe you just want to be able to think clearer, or be able to become a really good problem solver. It really boils down to what's known as the quantum field by one. His name is Joe Dispenza. The vortex known by, I think her name is Esther Hicks. Okay, and essentially what they're talking about is what I'm about to talk about. They're talking about the same space where all of this stuff comes from. Now, what am I talking about in regard to stuff? What do I mean by stuff? You've probably heard this before. There's a reality out there where you're a millionaire, you know? So how can you channel that aspect of you from the parallel reality? Or how do you wake up in his or her shoes? And then other than becoming a problem solver, someone who can make that amount of money, it might be 100 grand per year, 100 grand per month or week, there's the aspect of manifestation that you'll often hear about in regard to manifesting cars, houses, and then relationships, all coming from these types of individuals, these types of problem solvers. And so you can see here that when it comes to you manifesting out of the quantum field, if you don't know what that is, I'll talk about it later on, or being in the vortex where you're able to think in this type of way where you can make these things happen. And as Esther Hicks says, then you get knocked out of the vortex when someone ruins your mood. There's a reason for this. More on that in a sec. Everything that has been taught about it, they're all just talking about the same thing, essentially. And that's what I want to talk about in this video. It might be a long one, I'm not too sure. I might break this up in segments. But first, I want to talk about the space of endless potential. Essentially, it's the idea and or premise that everything that you want exists right now, in this present moment. It's easy to get confused about what's meant by this, okay? What is meant by this is simple. In the same way, I'm going to break it down into many different metaphors. In the same way that right now you have the potential to get angry, happy, or sad, you also have the potential to come up with ideas that make money and ideas that take from your bank account. Okay? And it's all based on what's happening right in front of you, which dictates how you see yourself. A story is created based out of how you're perceiving the environment around you. If you can see that there's not many things in front of you, not many fashionable things, then you might end up creating a story that you're poor, that you're broke. That then sends a signal to your subconscious mind to light up a personality, to have you act in a certain way, which is very, what's the word I'm looking for here? Bad, for lack of a better word, in regard to generating money. You probably end up spending more on shoes. You have shoes, you don't need any more shoes, but you're doing it anyway. Buy more hats, you don't need any more hats, but you're doing it anyway. You spend a little bit more during dinner. You're already full. Why are you doing it? Well, it's supporting a story, a belief system that you have about yourself that you've managed to conceive due to your external environment. And people can also be to blame here. Sometimes people can expect little of you. And then all of a sudden you'll start to think, maybe I can't do something, Maybe I'm not really that intelligent. Maybe I'm not really that smart. And so then your mind will start to formulate a personality where you act dumb. You act like you're incapable. And then that will be what you present. That's what you're going to carry. That's your state of being. And that's what you're going to be living and acting out of. And as long as you live or act out of that state of being, guess what happens? You make all of the poor choices that poor people make. And it's just a mentality. It really is just a mentality. And sometimes a culture will have the mentality. Third world societies. Second even. And you'll even find it in first world countries. I lived in a first world country, in England. And yet my family had that mentality a little bit, that poor mentality. In the household, it showed up as my parents buying a lot of food and freezing it so that it lasts. They would always emphasize how they needed to make things last. That put it in my mind that we were going to run out of things, you know? And I had to get out of that. If you're raised in a poor mentality, you have to get out of it. Otherwise, you end up living out of the same mentality as your parents, and you'll only ever end up reenacting the same behavioral patterns. That being said, if it's a mentality, it means that you also have the ability to step out of it and to create a new mentality by tapping into the field of endless potential. Now, what is this endless potential that everyone keeps talking about? Well, it's you. It's your subconscious mind. You're much bigger than you think you are, and you take in stock much more information than you currently may believe. You hear this a lot. Children absorb things like a sponge. We are super freaking computers. Understand the fact that you are not Mandy, Brandy, Ryan, Jack, or Jake. Okay, you are a consciousness computer that has the ability to constantly process everything and absorb it, non-biasedly, by the way. In a sense that this part of you that does that does not have a sense of character. It is separate from who you think you are. And for this reason, it believes, matter of fact, it knows that it can do this. If I was to tell you that you can absorb everything really fast, you'd be like, I don't know about that. I got poor score in school, my SATs, my GCSEs, I failed college. You've already attached yourself to a story. You're not even going to try at that point. Matter of fact, because you've attached yourself to a story, you're going to believe that you can't, which will make you confused up here. You'll start to think in ways that confuse you. And that's a part of you acting in line with that story. Because a part of you knows that if you're confused, your neuroprocessors aren't firing off properly. You're blocking signals to your brain. Now you're definitely not going to be able to add worth at all. You're not going to be able to figure anything out. Okay? And so telling someone that they can do something like this, absorb everything as if it's effortless, is not good. They're not going to believe you. But this part of your subconscious mind isn't attached to a story. So it's just going to take everything in. And it's been doing that since the moment you were born, and probably before then too. Okay? Because again, you're not you. You're not your name. You're not your ethnicity. You are a consciousness. You're a stream of constant information. And you're constantly pulling it in ways that are even quite unbelievable. Multidimensionally, you're pulling from the Akashic records. You're pulling from the ethers. Yeah? You're pulling this information from other people's heads. A part of you is telepathic. The part of you that knows this stuff is doing it behind the scenes. But we're only told to focus on what we already believe, which is what we're capable of achieving. Be that if you're listening to something, but you're doing something else, then your subconscious mind is actually taking it in. We believe that much, and so that's what we think when it comes to accepting the sponge-like effect that our subconscious mind has. But we can actually suck in information on a much deeper level. Depending on your belief systems will determine on whether or not you believe in that. But the best thing is, this is like a universal safe system, is it doesn't matter how much you believe. You have everything already. The part of you is so big, it doesn't matter about your story that you tell yourself. You're going to absorb everything anyway. There's a part of you right now that knows how to make a ton of money. Like literally tonight. It's just a matter of you tuning into it. And so your story can often have you blocked. But there are ways around it. There are ways to channel this information, which I'm getting to. I'm going to get to in a sec. But first, I need to make further sense out of this. So let's go back to square one, the fact that you have everything in you already. I just want to talk about another example, just so that it further gets you into this concept that I'm trying to put across. Because the more information you have on this, the more suggestible you'll be to being able to notice what I'm talking about. Okay? Let's say someone punched you in the stomach really hard. You're going to get mad. Let's reverse time and say someone gave you an ice cream, your favorite ice cream. You're going to get really happy. Here's the thing. Did the anger exist before they punched you in the stomach or after? Did the happiness exist before someone gave you your favorite chocolate chip ice cream? Or after? The potential had lied in you all the time. These emotions are always there. They're just subtly behaving a little differently until you process a story. My friend just gave me an ice cream cone. Yay! It lights it up. This person just punched me in the stomach. Oh, it lights it up. You get mad, and your body reacts accordingly. And so here, as you can see, everything is a story. Where is this coming from? It's coming from your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind has all of this latent, meaning dormant, it's just kind of chilling out, information hanging around in a space. This space, when you get there, can be black. It can seem empty, and yet it's so filled with so many things if you just know where to look. When you close your eyes at night and you fall asleep, there's a moment where you detach from your personality, all of the stories completely, and you enter into this space. The space which actually creates a new personality, a new character for you to shift into and to develop a sense of self. This is mandatory for your dream cycle so you can become a different person. When you can deliberately become another person in meditation by detaching from your sense of self that you've come to know so well and shift into a different sense of self, then what ends up happening is you become the new story that you're living. You shift your state of being and you end up having your subconscious mind literally form for you inside of this meditation practice. A character that's deserving of 100,000 per week or per month, that's deserving of a soulmate even, that's deserving of the best things in life. Because you're not blocking yourself with a sense of character and because you've tapped into this quantum space. Now, the reason why they call it quantum, this is going to be a long video, is because of quantum mechanics, in the sense that energy exists somewhere and it has to permeate through different dimensions, through quantum, they call it quantum entanglement, in order to exist somewhere else, for you to bring it here in the present moment. And this energy is quantum because of how it behaves. It disappears, it changes form, it does some very weird things. You are energy, and in a sense, there are many aspects of you that are quantum. And quantum is literally, again, just describing an effect that energy has. You are energy. In a sense, you are quantum energy. And so you have the potential to change. And so when you shift into this space, you end up in a type of dimension where you have full access over different personalities because you've collected personalities growing up. When you see people, a part of it goes in, their personality goes into your mind. It doesn't just disappear. And you start collecting over and over and over again. You probably see or process just over 1,000 people per day every time you leave your house. These range from micro expressions, from how they react to things, situations. You have in you all the personality traits of a beggar and all of the personality traits of someone who's starting up charities, who has more than enough money. Okay, you have all of the personality traits to be the perfect husband or boyfriend or girlfriend or wife. And you have all the personality traits capable of being the worst of all of those things. You have it stored in this quantum space. It's quantum because it's all energy, and the energy behaves very strangely, quantumly, in the sense that you can take it, it can come up, it can show up. Okay, you can materialize this energy as a state of being just by thought alone. Simply put, just by thinking about being the worst partner will have that materialize into your state of being. The energy will grow, and then that will be your state of being. And in a moment, you've just shifted from being the best partner to the worst. In a moment. I like to call it the abyss, because down there, I refer to this aspect of your mind, the part that's detached from a personality that can do all of this. I like to refer to it as the abysmal mind. That's what I've referred to it in my book, Get Connected. I might change it to God is a schizophrenic, because it's a part of you that has all of these different personality traits. I'll tell you what though, this space is definitely the fourth dimension, because the fourth dimension is comprised of your thoughts only, just the mental plane. Okay, so this fourth dimension is responsible for a lot of the quantum mechanics here in regard to channeling personalities, ideas, and information. This quantum field is also connected to other dimensions. Okay, the thought plane is connected to your neighbor. It's connected to the thoughts going on in other universes of other people. Okay. Now here's the crazy thing, which I've found hard to describe, but I'm going to try my best here. And that is that these other dimensions aren't physical. Parallel dimensions don't have shape, they don't have structure, they don't have form. A lot of the old movies will have you believe, even Rick and Morty, through demonstrative purposes, by showing you another dimension, another alternate version of our reality, that these existences exist parallel from ours, aside ours, in a long linear time fashion, timeline. And that they are solid also. That there are other beings, other creatures, other versions of you that are having solid interactions over there. They're not. They act more like a wave. They're more energy. And you know what? This one isn't solid neither. This third dimension, this wave, this reality actually acts like a wave too. And the only thing that makes it seem physical is the fact that we are consciously oscillating on a very low vibration. Our awareness is, not our physical reality. Our awareness is what oscillates. It's what oscillates really quickly, meaning movement really quickly, to the point where we're vibrating consciously, to the point where we can see what's actually happening around us. And it also vibrates so slowly that it makes our reality appear as solid. This is why when you take a psychedelic and your frequency picks up, your awareness is actually oscillating faster. It's moving quicker. And so you're able to perceive more reality in the way that it actually is, which is more of a wave form. It's more energy, and everything starts to breathe and it starts to move, and you start to see all of these entities that are peering in and out of different points of space. Okay, so here's the kicker. Every dimension is just a wave, including this one. They are quantum entangled because all the energy is moving between each point of space. It's not linear, it doesn't go backwards. It moves inside and out. Okay? Everything exists right now. Every energy state is just not solid. So in a sense, is it real? If solidity is real, then are these quantum realities real? They are real because reality is energy. Okay, reality isn't structured. It's not actually how we've been taught in schools. Everything really is just free moving consciousness, free moving energy, and you can channel it at any point in time that you want based on your belief system. Okay? Literally, it's based on your belief system. If you believe that you can just teleport your physical body into another location, you can. The constructs of reality, or at least the confinements of reality, is literally that which you believe. I think what makes it hard to believe in things like quantum jumping or channeling or even shape-shifting this reality, shape-shifting yourself, is the fact that we believe in so much that everything is real, solid, and has to be a certain type of way. In reality, everything is just very, very malleable. So I'm Ryan JC, Ryan James Cropper. This is going to be it on the quantum field, quantum jumping. This is just, I guess, an introduction. This is me trying to clear up a lot of the confusion as to what's happening. When you say that you want to jump to a parallel timeline, a lot of the time what ends up happening is you act like a magnet. So your mind goes over here and you pull all of this energy, undifferentiated energy, which then you focus on and end up channeling and projecting into this now moment. Matter of fact, I wouldn't be amiss in the saying that there is only one reality, that there is only one moment, and that in this one moment you're pulling all of this energy, all of this consciousness, these thoughts that make up what you're experiencing, what you're looking at right now. And that there was never ever a past, that there is only literally now. But even noticing I understand that a lot, it'll probably take a lot of effort to to put into words. I'm Ryan James Cropper. This has been your potential. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos like this. And if you would like any help on anything, then check out my website, ryancropper.com. And I'll speak to you all pretty soon. Peace.